my dear students. Be welcome to the Speak Up channel. Are you all right? Hope so. And you, Paul?
I'm glad to be here. In today's lesson, we have a story about David.
And remember, after listening to the story, check the vocabulary attached to the video lesson, leave your comment, and like the video too.
The story's name is 50 Days and 50 Nights.
Okay, let's listen to it. Enjoy and learn a great deal of vocabulary.
We're going to read it for you in a team. Mary and I will narrate it aloud, and your task is to listen carefully and read the captions for a better understanding. Always write down the new vocabulary you bump into. Now, let's go to the story.
David was a mess. Going through a divorce meant the end of a life he spent 20 years building. His emotions were drained of all life, and there was no energy or desire to do anything.
Instead, there was only pain. A force that could not be seen ate away at him at every hour of every day. A feeling of hopelessness was consuming him slowly, and one day there would be nothing left of him.
Fear was the only thing that moved David out of bed and to work each morning. It was a fear of things becoming worse than they already were. And they could always get worse. He could get fired, become poor, lose his home, or even get addicted to drugs. Any of those could be the last straw.
There were only two comforts left in the world: food and sleep. While sleep completely numbed the pain, food only provided a short distraction. Corn chips, lasagna, cookies, pizza, and greasy burgers and fries were the go-tos. The sugars, fats, and salts flooded the pleasure centers of his brain, while his soul felt no such thing.
David would eat and eat until he could eat no more. And then he would return right back to the despair he was in before. And each time, the despair would be coupled with disgust of himself. There was nothing he could do but suffer. When sleep finally did come, it was a mercy.
Since the start of the separation with his ex-wife, David's weight had jumped from 190 pounds to 260 pounds. He knew he was in bad health. He could feel it. He would die of heart failure or of something soon. This he knew.
And then one day, David came across a story and a community he would never imagine to be real. Through social media, he learned that a group of dedicated individuals online were doing fasts lasting from 24 hours to 30 days or more.
The story was told in a post by a man who completely transformed his life by completing a 40-day fast. At first, David was alarmed, but he soon saw that it was all done under medical supervision. It was like something straight out of the Bible, but achieved by a normal human. And in his post, there were tips for anyone who wanted to accomplish the same.
David was more than sold. He would try a water fast and go for as long as he could. He would drink only liquids that contained no calories and eat no food. The thought alone of eating disgusted him, so he had plenty of motivation to get started.
The first morning without breakfast felt strange, but there was no turning back now. Besides, David could still have his morning coffee, and that first cup was often the highlight of his day.
This time, though, he had to drink it black, which he was not used to. After his first sip, he immediately missed the milky and sugary flavors he was so used to. But at the same time, this sacrifice had meaning. Learning to go without meant everything to him.
Lunch and dinner were equally strange. David was so used to eating during these times that it was hard to do something different. But he realized something. He wasn't actually hungry. He had more than plenty of food the day before, so he just needed to find something to focus on and bide his time.
New coping mechanisms were required. Walking and drinking water became David's new best friends. Anytime he felt the urge to eat, he would walk it off. He also sipped on water constantly.
The best part was that he didn't have to work out to lose weight. The fasting and walking did the heavy lifting for him.
Having an appetite but being unable to eat was annoying, but eventually it would go away. It never lasted. Cravings came and went. If he could just be with those feelings for long enough without giving in to them, they would pass.
Day 3 was a challenge. There was a stress that slowly built up throughout the day after not eating for so long. By dinner time, it became unbearable. David had previously stowed away a bag of chips deep in his pantry behind healthier choices. It was an effort to forget they ever existed, but in this moment, he remembered exactly where they were and went to retrieve them. He was near determined to break the fast.
Out of desperation, he focused on the stress he was currently feeling. He asked himself if this was worse than the past year of hell he had gone through. He had already suffered so much. To many points, he did not think he could live through. This one moment of stress was nothing compared to any of that. If he could somehow go through that and live, he could somehow be with this level of stress.
And so he set his temptation aside and lay down on his couch. He tossed, he turned, he suffered, but he did so with purpose. He was unsure if the hunger pangs would go away. Yet by the time night had come, the hunger had passed, and he was shocked.
After that day, all of his hunger ceased to exist, and the fast became significantly easier. A week passed, and then another week passed.
Of course, David kept well hydrated. He drank plenty of electrolyte drinks to maintain good energy levels. He also saw his doctor each week to monitor his health and make sure everything was okay.
A month into the fast, David was astounded. How could someone still have energy despite having no food whatsoever? His body still had so much energy to burn due to his size. If he could go this long without food, it made him rethink the reason why he ate. It must have been boredom and the desire to not sit there and be with that boredom, he figured.
Soon enough, day 50 had come. There was no specific number of days he aimed for, however. David's original goal was simply to fast for as long as he possibly could. With all the improvements in his health and energy he had seen these past 50 days, he certainly could continue. He thought he could even run a mile or two with how good he felt.
Realizing he had achieved what he really wanted out of all of this, David decided to finally break his fast, but very slowly and carefully. His doctor had warned him that eating too many calories too quickly after a prolonged fast could cause him to die. This is because of the rapid change in electrolyte levels that would occur. It causes very serious health complications. This process is called refeeding syndrome.
At the doctor's office, his electrolyte levels were checked with a blood test. He was advised to only consume a small amount of calories each day for the next week. Easily digestible fruits like watermelon and apples were to be his first few meals. Citrus fruits were to be avoided at all costs. He was also recommended to take a vitamin supplement. If all went well after the first few meals, he could start eating vegetables like sauerkraut.
So, on the morning of day 51, David sliced up a watermelon and grabbed a fork, ready to eat. He carefully handpicked his first piece of food after 50 days. He then brought the chunk of melon close to his lips. Opening his mouth, he leaned in to take a bite, but he stopped himself and smiled out of nervousness. Trying again only got him the same result. It was as if he had forgotten how to eat. He counted down from 3. On 0, he plunged the fruit into his mouth and started chewing. It was like recovering a lost memory from years past. Once again, he remembered what it was like to taste something incredibly sweet, and it was pure joy.
One thing was clear now. Food was a gift. Food was something to be enjoyed. It was not a prison, and he was not its prisoner.
It was all as if David had been given a second chance at life, and so he was ready to continue living. This time, he carried not only a lot less weight, but all the experience and wisdom of the past.